Oh, good evening. I love it when that button says you're live. It is wonderful. Good evening and welcome. I'm hoping that I'm welcoming lots and lots of my subscribers to my YouTube channel, and of course all the members in the Facebook community group as well. You are all welcome and it is wonderful to have you here. As always, I like to know where you're watching from, so please pop in the comments where you are joining me and where you are watching this, if you're watching it live, or of course if you're watching it on a replay. If you are watching via the Facebook group, please allow StreamYard to pop your name on, otherwise I won't know who you are if you're commenting and it gets a little bit complicated. I'm going to see if I can open it up on my phone just in case people do comment and I can't see their... Yes, I can. That's good. So let's kind of get into it. So in case you don't know me and you're just finding me and you're finding this video, my name is Fiona. I am the hands behind Cozy Rosie UK, and I've been a crochet designer for just over 2 years now, which is why we are celebrating today the second birthday of my YouTube channel. And I cannot believe that I've been uploading videos for crochet tutorials, crochet patterns for just over 2 years now. The actual birthday, I think, was the 16th of April was when I put my first ever video up. And I'd like to think it's come a long way, but probably not. I certainly enjoy making content for my YouTube channel, and I would like to get so much more into it. But what this opportunity is a chance for you to ask me, oh, thank you, Colleen, is to ask me some questions. I have some questions that have been emailed through from my newsletter subscribers. They've been sent the link today, so I'm hoping some of those are joining us as well. And they are not necessarily as deep as I thought they would be, but that's also fine. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask me, feel free to pop it in the comments and I will answer as many as I can. So let's talk a little bit about how I got into crochet designing before I go any further, because I don't think I've ever told this story to anyone. So for me, I've been crocheting on and off. I keep forgetting how the years roll up. I've been crocheting for quite a number of years now, probably 6, 7, and I'm a bit obsessed. Actually, as soon as I picked up a crochet hook, first time ever, I didn't give up. Does that make sense? If you've been a beginner recently, or you remember those feelings of starting your first few chains, how to hold your hook, all that kind of stuff, I didn't give up. And that was the first time I tried a craft and I hadn't given up. I cannot knit for toffee. This is a store-bought knitted cardigan, I will confess, because I can't knit. For some reason, using both hands at the same time just does not work for me. So I started crocheting a number of years ago and then started making products to sell, or ended up selling them. Does that make sense? People ask you to make things, but they want to give you some money for the yarn or your time and that kind of thing. And it kind of progressed into attending lots of different craft fairs in both, like, my mum and dad's village I would go to regularly, and I've missed the last one, but I'm hoping to get there again in summer. It's my favorite craft fair, and it's just a local village hall. It's only 2 hours long, but my goodness, it's a busy event. And I kept doing more events. I opened an Etsy shop, so I did sell my finished makes on Etsy, which ended up nearly causing me to fall out of love with crochet, believe it or not, which I need to expand on that, don't I? Oh, Colleen, you got knitting down. I'm impressed. I really am. Colleen was just said that she struggled with knitting previously, and obviously she's just mastered it, and I'm very jealous. Maybe I need to try it again. So I started my Etsy shop, and I had a product that's called a bestseller. As in, Etsy highlighted it to everybody, and it ended up that I made, I think in a period of kind of just over 2 months, I made and shipped 400 of the same crochet headband. I have not made that crochet pattern since. It's also one of my best-selling patterns, actually, because it's so quick and easy, and there is a tutorial for it. If you want to look up, I might have to tag the video, actually, when we come off the live, so that you can go and check it out. It is an amazingly simple pattern. And it's so comfortable to wear. The yarn that I chose to use it, I still have, you can't quite see it, it's on my top shelf now. Oh, you can just see it. It's made with Sirdar, what is that called? Jewel spun. That's the one of my favorite yarns. The colors work up beautifully, and literally had to make 400 of the same headband in about the space of 2 months. And it made me nearly fall out of love with crochet completely. And I made a decision to put my making shop on holiday and focus more on the design and the tutorial element. I've been teaching crochet, oh wow, that's a little bit longer than I thought about it. I'll think back to it, for kind of way like pre-COVID, so kind of maybe 2 years before COVID. So that would make that, wow, 4 years now. And for me, that's my absolute passion, is encouraging people to learn the craft and really get into the knowledge and the understanding to make it enjoyable, because it does take a while to master the absolute basics. Not necessarily a while, but when you're learning, it feels like a while. I'm talking maybe 1 to 2 months, and you can challenge yourself to make pretty much anything out of there, or move through some of the more complicated patterns to really get there. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about it and will encourage anybody to take up crocheting, because for me, it's the ultimate fun kind of way to spend some time. That's kind of my journey into when I sold my crochet products. I can't say that I love the experience, but I really enjoy craft fairs. I have done some bigger craft fairs as well. I'm talking like weekend long, inside shopping centers or shopping malls, that were absolutely, wow, just that blew my mind. The amount of work that goes into running those kind of events is absolutely astounding. And you really get to know your customers. And I think that's probably one of the best things, is I love people. I will do anything that involves being around people and in kind of talking to them, especially face to face. This is a bit strange because I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I know you're there and I know you're watching. So again, oh, Colleen, yeah, you've been there. You've had that experience where you've just ended up making and making and making, and it can be quite draining, having to build up your inventory for making products and that kind of thing. Some people absolutely love it, and they can just, you know, knock out loads and loads of the same product and the same pattern time and time again, because it's easy and, you know, they're running their business in that format. For me, it became a bit monotonous. I don't regret it one single bit. I certainly enjoyed the experience, but for me, it was a natural progression into crochet designing. With my experience of kind of teaching crochet, it meant that a lot of my original patterns were certainly beginner friendly and inspired with that tutorial element behind it, so you can learn a new technique and that kind of thing. Which does, in fact, actually, let me tell you about, I've got a guest post on the blog. I've not linked that below, but I will do for you, from one of my crochet designer friends. I've got the wonderful Bee, or Bernadine, from Me and My Hook, and she's done a Mobius twist crocheted cowl, and I love this design. It's absolutely beautiful. The full pattern is available for free on my website. I will link that below for you, but do go and check this pattern out because it's absolutely stunning, and it certainly isn't boring, I can assure you. It's got puff stitches, it's got an open lace stitch to it as well. It's absolutely beautiful. It is suitable for beginners, but it might be a bit of a challenge, but it's worth it, most definitely. Just ticking off what we've talked about. So another one of the questions that came up was kind of feeds back into me selling my crochet products. So kind of high quality, affordable yarns is what I worked with. Including the Sirdar dual spun. One of the other yarns I used and I still design with. I've just done a whole blanket in the Paintbox Chunky. And this is from Lovecrafts. I've linked below, so you can go and check out the huge color range that these are available in. I think it's either 50 or 65 colors now. And it literally says on here, pick your palette. And I certainly have. You can see behind me, I've got certainly branded colors. Definitely, you can't quite see my absolutely beautiful shelf up here, but when you're kind of, for me, making like a simple ribbed beanie, you can make in any single size. Again, that pattern's available on the channel. This for me is my go-to high quality acrylic at a very affordable price. I also buy more than one ball of yarn at a time. I do tend to bulk buy, as you can see. So I'll buy a pack of 10 of the same color, especially when I was making for selling. But it's just so good, so squishy. I'll try and see if you can have a little bit of a close up in that. And it's just, you see how there's just no real fluff on that. It's just a really good top quality acrylic yarn. In case you're wondering, I think this is washed teal, this color, one of my favorites. So that is my recommended yarn for making lovely, thick, chunky crochet beanies, would be Paintbox Simply Chunky, and it's linked below for you in the description box as well. Now, interestingly, one of the other questions I was asked kind of leads into another question that was also asked for me, which is, why do so many of my crochet patterns feature the granny stitch? Now, it did make me chuckle because, to be honest, there are a lot. I haven't worked out exactly how many of my patterns have the granny stitch in them, but it's going to get bigger. So at the moment, I currently have 99 crochet patterns that are published. That includes the one that's coming on Friday. And I'm going to show you what the 100th is going to be in a moment. And there's going to be a huge giveaway for that pattern as well. So the reason that I am such a fan of the granny stitch, actually, I need you to tell me in the comments if you like the granny stitch, because I'm a huge fan, and I think more people should not worry about using it so frequently, because it is the ultimate beginner project, is the traditional granny square, of which I don't have, but I do have another design near me that features the granny square, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So the granny stitch is kind of tends to be, or the granny square tends to be, that absolute beginner crochet project that everyone begins with, and they make lots and lots of granny squares, and then they sew them all together and make a blanket, and it looks like, it can look really retro and really 70s depending on what colors you choose. I've just realized in the background, one of the first designs I ever released was my running rings around granny teapot cozy. And this does feature the, oh, where are we? The granny stitch. Don't know if you can see that. And love it. And it's almost an upside down granny stitch because it's worked top down. This is actually my best selling pattern of all time, and I love it. And it spawned a whole collection of crochet patterns. It really did, because because it's worked in the round. Not everyone works the granny stitch in the round, and I love it. So I created the running rings around granny. Anything I can think about making, from cushions to bolster cushions to, what else have I done? Oh, coasters, jar cozies. I did have these lit up earlier, but it looked a bit much. So I have little fairy lights inside my mason jars, and they sit outside. You can't see how bright they are, but they come outside of me. I usually have lids on them. And you're making, oh, Helen is joined us. She's making a hexagon cardigan. So a granny hexagon. That's one thing I've not designed with yet. And oh, I know the one you mean. Yes, they're absolutely beautiful. And I think for me, it's an absolute classic. Oh, I've got my granny blanket, which is worked in stripes, and I could go on. And obviously, this is not the blocked version. There was the blooming granny, the blooming springtime, or the springtime blooming granny square, which features a 3D flower in it. And I don't know if I can get that up to you close enough, but look, there's the granny square, and here is the granny spike stitch as well. So there are so many variations on the granny stitch that I can literally make anything out of it, and I enjoy working it in different ways, which brings me on to that next question. Let me just tick that one off the list. What is my next pattern release? I'm very excited to share this with you. I don't think I shared a reel on my Instagram showing me blocking this pattern. I probably should be wearing this, but it's a little bit chillier today. So this is, oh, can't get it on camera. This is the running rings fringed vest top. I need to steam my fringe again. It's been washed again. But as you can see, it features, I don't know if you can hear me, that features the running rings granny square in a vest form, which is then added on to the sides to create some side panels in rows. Now, I'm obviously absolutely in love with this pattern, and I cannot wait to wear it all summer long. It is for me, has a real boho feel when it has the fringe on there as well. And I just absolutely love it. That was my dog snoring, please be assured. Emily, that was. So that pattern is going to be available as a guest design on Two Brothers Blankets, and that will be available for you on Friday. There is going to be a special offer for you on both my Etsy and my Ravelry shop to get a printable copy of that one. It's fully size inclusive. It goes from extra small all the way up to 5X. And I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so pleased you like it, Helen, because I can picture you wearing it very, very, very much. I really can. So we have one more question before I'm going to show you what's going to be the 100th design. And I'm in love with this next design that's going to be coming out. I haven't got a date for it yet. It's going to probably be before the end of April. I'm getting ready to film the tutorial. So that's going to be a full free pattern for you. And it comes in 3 different sizes. Before I tell you more about that, one of the questions I get asked quite a lot is about my obsession with Furls crochet hooks. And the question that was asked, someone replied to one of my newsletters, and they asked quite literally, their wording was, why do you rate them so much? Now, I don't know if it's someone who hasn't actually tried them or someone who's tried them and didn't like them. But I'm probably a bit of an anomaly. Because I've not tried, I have to admit, I've not tried the Furls Odyssey, and they are, apart from the actual handmade, hand-carved, limited edition hooks, they are the second most expensive, basically, the Furls Odyssey hooks. I've not tried one, and I know that people really do like them. Now, I'm not a cheapskate, but I do like a bargain. So for me, I actually prefer over any. You can see I've got 2 of my favorite sizes here. I've got a 10mm, I don't know my left from my right, a 10mm wooden streamline, and a 5mm. And you can see this one's still quite shiny. I've not used this very much. And this 5mm, I have used an awful lot. I've made blankets, cushions, everything with this hook. So my other absolute favorite Furls hook is the Streamline Swirl. This is the Cafe. I also have the cream to go with that because, you know, coffee and cream, why wouldn't I? This is also another of my favorite, my 6mm and my 5mm. These are my absolute favorites. I end up using all the time. But specifically why I like them, there's a number of reasons actually. The ultimate reason has to be their hand health guarantee. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but with Furls crochet hooks, they actually have scientifically approved, I suppose, but they actually work with a charity to help people crochet better with health and with hand issues. So if you have arthritis or other things like that, the ergonomic design of these crochet hooks, so for instance, I'm generally right-handed, you can see that it fits. I have a medium-sized hand, a size 7 if you must know, and it fits right into the palm of my hand. For me personally, I actually work with it a little bit more out, so they have quite a long shaft, as the term is known, in comparison to my other recommended hook that I have here, which is a much shorter hook. So depending on the type of project that I'm working with, I will sometimes use just like a soft grip. This is a Knit Pro soft grip that I teach my beginners with, because as beginners, we certainly crochet very tightly and we clench, and the slightly softer grip are better for beginners than those metal ones that we can get without making a huge investment. For me, Furls crochet hooks, yes, I have a lot. I've been crocheting for a number of years and I have quite a collection. I tend to treat myself to a new one at least once a year, depending on the limited editions that come out. I missed a couple last year, which was quite sad about. I'm hoping I can still get hold of them. But they just fit so well into the palm of my hand. And I can, as someone who suffered during my making days with trigger thumb, if you've not experienced that, I hope you never do. Wow, waking up with your thumb sticking upright because you can't unlock your thumb from over crocheting. This is why I recommend Furls crochet hooks. Life changer for me. I can crochet literally all day without any wrist pain, without any hand pain or cramping. And it helps me to keep an even tension as well. So that is why I rave about Furls hooks so much. Now, this is not a sponsored video in any way, shape or form. I do have some affiliate links in the description box below, but this is my genuine opinion of Furls crochet hooks. Now I have to show you, because I don't think I've showed this on camera since I received it. Bernadine from Me and My Hook, who's the featured designer today, she sent me a present, and it was a present for Christmas. And I haven't yet used this. This is a 5mm hook, and this is from Boltec. If you've never seen them, please do go and check them out. They are handmade. It's a small company, and this is a walnut and pink resin, and you can really see those colors in that resin, and I absolutely am in love with this, even if it's just to look at. That's when we know we have a problem, isn't it? So I know that you're probably absolutely desperate. At least I hope you're desperate to see what the 100th pattern is going to be. Can't believe I've only just worked out that it's going to be my 100th pattern release. And I think this is probably going to come out next Friday. Give me a little chance, because it's already in testing. See if I can pick this up. Now, my ends have not yet been woven in on this pattern, because that's how quick these things happen. Are you ready? Look at it. So I'll see if I can flip this up for you. This is a macrame inspired, or macrame, I'm never sure how to say it, inspired crocheted plant hanger with a very secure tie at the top, coming down through four beautiful hangers, and then in a diamond shape to support your beautiful plants. And you can see at the bottom, you've got the really strong support there. And if you have real plants, mine's obviously fake, you can still water them, and the water can still come out of the bottom of the pot. So that is going to be the Trinity the Trinity plant hanger, and that's going to be available. Should we have a look at the date? Should we go for next Friday? Okay, so yeah, let's go for Friday the 29th of April. I will be releasing my 100th pattern, and there is going to be a giveaway on that. There will be a full video tutorial for that one for 3 different sizes. So small pots, medium, and this is the large. And there will be instructions on how you can make it bigger, but there's a limit as to how big you can go. I can tell you right now what you are going to need for your materials. You're going to need 2 wooden or plastic, ideally wooden or metal macrame rings. You're going to need either some macrame cord. This is from Hobbycraft, who I work for. I did pay for this for Hobbycraft, and this is available in their stores and online. So that's hobbycraft.co.uk, and you can purchase this in store, and it comes in a variety of shades. I can show you a different shade, but I'm pulled out ready to start working on that color. That's going to be in the tutorial, that color, and I'm making more in this color. And you can get this at your local Hobbycraft, or you can find various different macrame cords online. I believe Lovecrafts also have a beautiful macrame cord. They have some recycled cotton that might be a little bit too chunky, because you're only going to need a 6mm crochet hook. This is why this is up here. So you're going to need a 6mm crochet hook, some macrame cord, or you can triple strand DK weight cotton, and 2 macrame rings. You can use 1 macrame ring if you don't have enough. You will find on my Etsy shop from tomorrow that I do have some macrame rings available if you wanted to purchase them. My Facebook group is going to have first dibs on those, and they're only available. They're very low cost. It's just going to be the postage at the moment, just so you can get ready to make this pattern with me. We may even see if I can figure out the filming, see if we can do a live demonstration for that one as well. No one has asked me any other questions as I have gone through this, or not that I can see them. If you've asked them in the Facebook group and I haven't answered them, I will come back and answer them for you. If you do have any burning questions, please feel free to enter them into the comments, and I will come back to you and either do a follow-up video or of course, I can answer you on the comments too. One of the things I wanted to ask you, my fabulous people in my lovely community, is what would you like to see on this channel? I have dreams of doing yarn hauls and taking you yarn shopping with me and showing you different things over the next 12 months. And I would love you to get involved as well. So if there is something you would like to see on this channel, please either feel free to drop it in the comments, drop me an email, or head on over to the website and leave a comment on there. There's so much happening in the world of Cozy Rosie UK, but we just don't know what it's going to be yet. The next few months, so Helen wants to see some yarn shopping. That I can do, no problems. I know some lovely local yarn shops, and there are certainly some big box sellers around here as well. I have literally a local yarn shop just over the way. I wonder if she would let me film. I haven't seen her for a few years, but she's absolutely lovely. So thank you again for joining me and celebrating my 2-year anniversary on my channel. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I cannot wait to share even more lovely crochet tutorials and crochet patterns with you over the next 12 months. Thank you again for joining me.